Chaitanya Prabhu. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. Advaita Gosai. Rupa Raghunatha Aswarup Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha.
Hare Krishna.
Ata
Hare Krishna, Swami.
Chaitanya Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. Dhanyavad. Where's Gurudev? Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Do you hear this one?
Yes,
You hear me?
I'm hearing Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavad pranams.
Hare Krishna, Babuji. Who is this? This is our Gopinath Ji.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna
Prabhuji.
Maharaj. Dandavad.
Krishna.
I've been absent for some time due to some certain circumstances. I am back.
Good, good, very good. The return of the great Gopinath Ji.
Hare
Good.
Krishna.
I would like to wish you a very blissful and prosperous Happy New Year.
Hare Krishna.
And also congratulations for your success on your coming new temple in Takoradi.
Thank you, Maharaj. We need your message to be able to continue.
You are very strong in your prayers and your consistency. Krishna understood your prayers.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj.
to invite me on the
Valoria. She's not around. Maybe you wait for her. She said she's coming. So wait.
Salika Prabhu.
Can wait something.
Salika Prabhu, are you there? It's like Salika Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Noted. Salika Prabhu is there?
Yeah, I'm here with you, Maharaj.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
You want to start now?
Yes, what do we do? Do we start or do we wait? Let's come us.
Maharaj, your wish is our command. If you want to start now, we can start.
Okay. I think we can start the prayers. I can see Yajuna Prabhu is around. Yajuna Prabhu?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my most humble obeisances. I salute us feet.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Many good things.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maharaj.
Goranga. Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu. you, Maharaj.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So today we are continuing with the fifth chapter. Fifth chapter is Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. So we're going to treat verses 20 to 40 today. Yes. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanam Naradasya Janajanna Salakaya Takho Minitam Minatasma Shikurave Namaha Shri Shitana Manoditam Sakita Yena Bhutale Ayam Rupa Padamayam Dadadi Swam Padadikam Vandyam Sri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishvam Vidupam Sadrajatam Muragunatam Tam Sadivam Savadutam Paritam Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Saha Galamalita Sri Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadpate Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radhakanta Namote Tapyatana Gaurangi Radhe Brisavana Sware Brisavana Sute Devi Pranamami Hare Vanchakalpa Samjasta Kripa Samyahivacha Patitanam Bhavinavyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Yamate Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namine Namaste Krishna Padaya Abhupa Kristatmane Gaura Karuna Sakti Bhakti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vinanta Swami Namine Namaste Sarvasi Deve Gauravani Krishnane Nirve Sesa Sanyavati Bhaktata Dasatane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Mukam Karoti Vachanam Pangam Nabete Girim Yat Kripatanam Vande Shikurum Dinakaranam Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Yeah, so last week we studied the verse. So far we have studied the verse 1 till 19. And also we mentioned to you the key verses of this section, of this chapter 5. So verse to memorize. Verse 10, verse 11, verse 17, verse 18. So we have 4 verses. And also we have 3 analogies for this chapter. One verse in the verse on verse 10. Second analogy is on verse 15. And the last analogy is on, today we are going to see it, verse 33. Yeah. So we start the 5th chapter, verses 20 to 40. So Maybe can you read on page 25 of your handbook, the introduction.
Okay. Page 25.
Page 25, yes.
Okay, I'm scrolling down there. Oh, I think okay, I'm almost there. Page 20, 21, 22, 23, 25. Sorry, I pressed.
Okay, maybe I can read it. You can read it from
Yeah,
your, just read it from your book.
my
Okay.
system here.
Anybody who have it on the book, can read the introduction of verses 20 to 40.
Okay. Okay, I'm there now. We can read.
Yes, first read verses 1 to 9, the introduction on page, this overview.
Verses 1 to 9.
Yes,
So it's
of the overview.
Narada Muni fully understanding the situation inquires from Vyasadeva about the cause of his unhappiness and hints about the solution. Srila Vyasadeva requests his spiritual master Narada Muni to reveal to him the root cause of his despondency. Narada explains that Vyasadeva has written many Vedic literatures in which he has already broadly described dharma, artha, karma, and moksha. But he has not described the glories of the Supreme Personality, Vasudeva. In this way, Vyasadeva has improperly used his valuable time. Wow.
That's good. Any another volunteer to read 10 to 19? Yeah, do not know.
So the screen. So, wait.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Yes, please
Krishna.
read.
Narada compares, that is 10 to 19.
Yes.
Narada compares those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord to be a place of pilgrimage for crows. Transcendental literature, however, can bring about a revolution in the world's misdirected civilization. Because Vyasa had encouraged the people in the name of religion to enjoy, Narada condemns Vyasa's compilation of different Vedic literatures as abominable. What if one gives up prescribed duties as recommended by Narada, but does not achieve complete success? Progress in devotional service is credited forever. A non-devotee, however, though fully engaged in occupational duties, does not gain anything. Material happiness comes by destiny. So there is no need to endeavor for it. Even if a devotee of Lord Krishna falls down, he does not undergo material existence like others.
Okay, thank you. Gopinath Prabhu, read 20 to 40. Gopinath Prabhu there?
1015.
Or maybe Madhuban Prabhu.
Okay. Hare Krishna Maharaj. So 2040. Narada gives himself as an example of how one can achieve confidential service to the Lord. Simply by hearing from and serving great Bhakti Vedantas. 23 to 31. Narada Muni glorified working in Krishna's service while remembering him. 32 to 36. Narada glorified spiritual sounds and asked yesterday to directly glorify the Lord's activities for the benefit of suffering humanity.
Yes, thank you very much. So, see that we have discussed many things. That yesterday we wrote so many things, divided the Vedas into 4 sections, and also wrote some other books, historical books, Mahabharata and so. And after that, he was not satisfied. He was wondering what was the cause of his anxiety. At that time, his guru, Narada Muni, appeared to explain to him the cause is not being satisfied of his own work. So first, Narada Muni glorified him and said, yes, you have done so many things, you wrote so many things, that all your activities is only on material platform. Try to develop karma, artha, moksha, and dharma, which are on only material activities. You didn't mention anything about the Supreme Lord and devotional service. That's why we are talking. And you mentioned that even the Vedic scriptures that does not glorify the Supreme Lord and the devotional service, like place of pilgrimage for crow. Yeah. So today we are going to see now that Narada Muni gives himself as an example of how one can achieve confidential service to the Lord simply by hearing from and studying great Bhakti Vedantas. Narada Muni glorifies working in Krishna's service while remembering him. Narada glorifies spiritual sound and asks Yasadev to directly glorify the Lord's activities for the benefit of the suffering of him. So here is a direct and very specific instruction from Narada Muni to disciple Yasadev. This is success. Srila Prabhupada, the same thing also, he got a very direct and specific instruction from his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that anytime you get money, please send books and travel and go and preach in America, go and preach abroad. This is exactly what Srila Prabhupada did. He had full faith on the instruction of his Guru. And before that, then Srila Bhakti sent 4 of his disciples, even sannyasis. Before going, they told the Guru that, hey, Guruji, we don't think this mission can be successful. Because Americans, merchants, Yavanas, it's not possible. So before going, they decided that the mission cannot succeed. So eventually, when they went, they could not succeed. Because the person says that the connection of the Guru was not that strong. But Srila Prabhupada took this instruction at his heart, and we see great achievements. Yeah, so Narada Muni made a diagnostic of his disciple and told him the reason why he was not happy. Now he's giving him a very, very clear and specific instruction that Narada Muni glorify spiritual sound and ask Vyasadeva to directly glorify the Lord's activities for the benefit of suffering humanity. Yes, that is the mission of Vyasadeva now. So let's go on verse 20. Yeah. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan vigataro yato jagdana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam tatike pradesha matram bhavata pradavastam. Translation. The Supreme Lord, personally, the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still is aloof from it, from him only. From him only as this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I've given even the yeah. I hope you read the verses, as mentioned. The 21st activities do not allow us to read. Christmas and the 21st festival. I think Prabhu is very fond of black, huh? I'm joking. All of us, we like it. Okay, so anything we can remember from this verse? Because see, this verse is the reason of why this verse is there is just to allow Vyasadeva to understand the reason why he must say something about the Lord. The Supreme Lord personally, the Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Lord Personality of God is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has come this cosmic manifestation, emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I've given only. See, he's telling that you yourself, you know very well that God, the Supreme Lord, is the beginning, is the middle, and at the end. So how can you write so many books, so many things, and you don't mention anything about the Alpha and Omega? Huh? He is the beginning, he is the middle, and in the end. I mean, it's a serious omission. So please try your best to say something, of the, he manifests the cosmos, he can annihilate it, and he enters himself. He maintains through Brahmaji. First, the universe is come from his force, and he enters the planets again. Then again, he enters in our hearts, and after annihilation, also he is there. That person, you cannot forget that person. All those so-called beautiful things that you mentioned about, how can you sustain them without the Supreme Lord? That's what your mistake is there. Make a big mistake. Forget the Supreme Lord. Okay. Verse 21. Yes, I think we can read Sanskrit and purport and translation.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Twam atmat mana abbe amogadri parasya pumsa para mana akalam ajam prajatam jagata shivaya tahan mahanu bhava byodayo diganyatam. Your goodness as perfect vision. You yourself can know the super soul personality of God because you are present as the plenary portion of the Lord. Although you are birthless, you have appeared on this earth for the well-being of all people. Please, therefore, describe the transcendental pastimes of the Supreme Personality of God as Sri Krishna more vividly. Purport. Srila Vyasadeva is the empowered plenary portion incarnation of the personality of God, Sri Krishna. He descended by his costless mercy to deliver the fallen souls in the material world. The fallen and forgotten souls are detached from the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The living entities are parts and parcel of the Lord, and they are eternally servitors of the Lord. All the Vedic literatures, therefore, are put into systematic order for the benefit of the fallen soul. And it is the duty of the fallen souls to take advantage of such literatures and be freed from the bondage of material existence. Although formally, Srila Narada Rishi is a spiritual master, Srila Vyasadeva is not at all dependent on the spiritual master because, in essence, he is the spiritual master of everyone else. But because he is doing the work of an acharya, he has taught us by his own conduct that one must have a spiritual master, even though he be God himself, Lord Sri Krishna, Lord Sri Ram, and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All incarnations of God accepted former spiritual masters, although by their transcendental nature, they were cognizant of all knowledge. In order to direct people in general to the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna, he himself, in the incarnation of Vyasadeva, is delineating the transcendental pastimes of the Lord.
Yeah. So this verse is explaining to us that the importance of the Master, Bhagavad Gita 4:54. Advidi paripasna sabaya parisamti tejanam dhanyatatva asna. Very, very important to have the Master. Om ajnanam timnadas janam. Yes. We are born in darkness and the Master open our eyes. So it says that Vyasadeva is an incarnation, is an avatar. But for the sake of setting example, he accepted Vyasadeva, Narada Muni as his guru. Same thing, huh? Krishna came. His guru was Sandipani Muni. And even at home, the family guru is Vaibhava. In Vedic time, was that they must have a guru at home and a guru that can teach them spiritual activities. Yeah? In the case of Ramachandra also, Vasishtha Muni was the guru at home, and Vishwamitra took them out. Very, very important. At any time, we should do our things without a master. Yes. Next verse.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. There are few points in this verse that we're reading, and I just wanted to shed some little light on it.
Yes, yes.
One is that the description of Srila Vedavyas here brings to mind the question, of the difference between an Avesh Avatara and Shakti Avesh Avatara. And I would like you to maybe throw some light on that. Actually, there are two questions that arises from my mind on this test.
Yes,
So because there are some incarnations of God that we generally describe as Shakti Avesh Avatara. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that there are differences between Avesh Avatara and Shakti Avesh Avatara. So I want you to expand on this.
Yeah. The Shakti Avesha, two words are there. Shakti Avesha. Avesha means power. Shakti means power. Avesha means to infuse power in someone. Shakti Avesha Avatar. Yeah, so Vyasadeva and many of them like that, Jesus Christ, they are Shakti Avesha Avatars. But Avesha, you mentioned Avesha only and Shakti Avesha.
Yes.
Your question, you want to know what is the difference between?
Yes, the difference between them, because we generally, okay, like Lord Buddha, is an incarnation of God. Lord Jesus Christ is also described as Shakti Avesh. And I'm coming from the background of the fact that sometimes when we say Lord Jesus Christ, for an example, is a Shakti Avesh Avatara, what is the category of difference of that kind of a personality or incarnation and that of Lord Vyasadeva?
Yes.
Maybe, I think there's
yes. The difference is that we have partial incarnation. Like of Vyasadeva is directly an expansion of Krishna. Okay, that's why it's called Dwapayam Krishna Vyas. Something like Jesus Christ and Muhammad, they are indirect incarnation. They're not directly coming from the expression of Krishna. They are directly, and also they are not mentioned in the mentioned in the Bhavishya Purans, Muhammad, Jesus Christ. That personally, like Buddhas, their name is mentioned in the 10 avatars, 10 incarnations. You see, so the difference is that Vyasadeva is directly an expansion of Krishna. But Jesus Christ, they are not directly. They are expansion of expansions. Actually, if you look some research, you find that Nadamuni, Jesus Christ, is coming from the lineage of the 4 Kumaras. And Muhammad is coming from the lineage of Shiva, the Sampradaya of Shiva. Yeah, so one of the 4 Kumaras, one of them, Jesus Christ is coming from their lineage. Understand? But because it seems to teach something at a specific time, so it is recognized as an avatar. So it is an Avesh avatar. So that is the difference between them. Some are directly expansion from Krishna, like Vyasadeva. Others are not directly expansion. But they have a mission to accomplish. Okay?
Okay, all right. Because we still have a whole lot to cover. Maybe in the course of the discussion, I'll ask the second question, but
no, we can ask now.
Okay. Yeah, my question in response to the follow-up of this particular question is that when the Lord descends and he seemingly act, Srila Prabhupada mentioned a few incarnations of Krishna in the purport, and Srila Vyasadeva also, Narada Muni here is telling him, so why do you have you should go ahead and glorify the Supreme Personality of God? So now my question is, these incarnations of God, even Lord Ramachandra, while he's playing the role of the son of Dasarat, he seemingly externally forgets every act, his position as the Supreme Personality of God. And Srila Vyasadeva also, why did he have to go into the trouble of writing so many, even if he already knows as Narada Muni is confirming here. If he already knows, why did he just give the glories of Lord Krishna directly for the benefit of man? And why did he have to go into the trouble of giving so many Kamakanda section of the Vedic scriptures?
Yes. Thank you very much. The reason is that if it is a fact. No, we have 4 varnas, we have 4 ashrams. Cannot deny that. Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. If you don't have the same mindset, you don't have the same mentality and the same understanding. The reason why they did that, so actually, we can say maybe it's a mistake, but I thought actually it's not a mistake because, after all, not everybody can understand the deep topic about Krishna as a devotees. Even if we go directly to that, many people will not understand it. So he was playing a role like an ordinary human being. The purpose is to at least give something to the low-grade people, Shudras and kind of Brahmanas, like that. Because they cannot understand the deep and advanced knowledge about the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. For instance, also, I give you an example of Sri Ramachandra. Ramachandra, why? In the first place, he could have, from the beginning, when Marichi disguised himself as a deer, at that point, I mean, Rama could have said, no, it's not a real deer, and stop everything there. But if he stopped there, how can you have Ramayana and all these beautiful stories? They are Lila. They are called Lila avatars. They come to display some activities, some leaders for us to understand certain points, certain things in our life. Okay? Just like the Mahabharata. Krishna could have killed everyone, at the beginning. But if he did so, then how do we know the nice stories on the Mahabharata? Understand? And this aspect is good for women and Shudras and less intelligent people. So if you don't give them something, then they will never attain very deep knowledge, and they will remain just like animals. And at least they have something to hold on. At least they have something. And gradually, they will come to the right level. Same thing also we do in ISKCON. We have first initiation, second initiation. We do Bhakti Sarachar. We do disciple course. We do Bhakti Shastri. And now we are doing Bhakti Vaibhava. And again we do Bhakti Vedanta and Bhakti Sarvabhauma. If we go directly to Bhakti Sarvabhauma, we start reading the 8th volume of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It become boring. See now how many of us are in the platform? Because Bhakti Vaibhava is deep. It takes more time and more energy. Okay?
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. So verse 22. Yaduna Prabhu, can you read? Yaduna Prabhu is there? He's not there.
Yeah, it's not there, Maharaj.
Krishna.
Okay,
Please.
he has spoken.
I'm here. I thought my camera was not. Did you see? I thought it was not muted. Okay. Idam hipumsa sapasashrutasya shustasya shuktasya chabhori dattayo aveyotortha kavibhirni pito yado tamash loke gunanur varnanam.
Translation, please.
Learned circles have positively included that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of the hymns, and charity, culminates in the transcendental descriptions of the Lord, who is defined in choice poetry.
Yeah, and we read some of the first part of the purpose.
Okay. Human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in arts, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, psychology, economics, politics, etc. By culture of such knowledge, the human society can attain perfection of life. This perfection of life culminates in the realization of the Supreme Being, Vishnu. The Shruti therefore directs that those who are actually advanced in learning should aspire for the service of Lord Vishnu. Unfortunately, persons who are enamored by the external beauty of Vishnu Maya do not understand that culmination of perfection or self-realization depend on Vishnu. Vishnu Maya means sense enjoyment, which is transient and miserable. Those who are entrapped by Vishnu Maya utilize advancement of knowledge for sense enjoyment. Sri Narada Muni has explained that all paraphernalia of the cosmic universe is but an emanation from the Lord out of his different energies, because the Lord has set in motion. By his inconceivable energy, the actions and reactions of the created manifestation, they have come to be out of his energy, they rest on his energy, and after annihilation, they merge into him. Nothing is, therefore, different from him, but at the same time, the Lord is always different from them.
Yeah. So, yeah, another reason why the Spirit is instructing.
Go to the room, eh? Go and bring one zobo for me. It's inside the water.
Yes, another reason why Nandamuni is instructing Vyasadeva to write about Krishna, the supreme person of God. As learned circles have positively concluded that the infallible purpose of the advancement of knowledge, namely austerities, study of the Vedas, sacrifice, chanting the hymn of charity and charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord, which is defined in choice poetry. And the purport mentioned that human intellect is developed for advancement of learning in art, science, philosophy, physics, chemistry, philosophy, economics, politics, etc. Yes, those field of knowledge. We are using the scientists or the intellect people now. They are using it to develop more sense gratification. Karma, artha, moksha, dharma. That's all. But the purpose of this, knowledge is to attain the goal of life, is Krishna. Unfortunately, human beings of this stage now, they are using all the paraphernalia, all the facilities to get more sense gratification. Can you imagine that for human being now to drink water, you go to TV, they will make advancement of different types of bottle of water. But animals, you just go at the river and just drink. Human beings, they will make advancement of a shoe, of a dress, of a watch. Why? Why wasting time for unnecessary things? See, that's why Narada Muni is telling yesterday, like, yes, all these things, they are good, but only for the physical body, for the maintenance of the body. But after that, what is left? So your work is complete. Try to touch the real points, which is Krishna and devotional service. Then we have a beautiful philosophy scientists, physics, chemistry, psychologists, economists, you don't have them. Why COVID? What are they doing? You need COVID now. All of them they are there. What are they doing? I mean, the power is on top. The decision maker is Krishna. He has the last word. Yeah. If Krishna said, okay, today no more COVID, finish. But these scientists and philosophers and chemistries and psychologists, they are there. Why suffering? Why suffering? Yes. That is the point from this verse. Any question, or we can move to the next verse? Next verse. Yes, Madhuvan Prabhu, can you read?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, please read.
Aham pratit bhave bhavam mune dasyastu kasyas chana vida vadinam nirupito yoginam susru sane pravasi navivisakaham. Translations. O Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of a certain maidservant engaged in the service of Brahmanas who are following the principles of Vendata. When they were living together during the 4 months of the rainy season, I was engaged in their personal service. Then the purport. The wonder of an atmosphere surcharged with devotional service of the Lord is briefly described herein by Sri Narada Muni. He was the son of the most insignificant parentage. He was not properly educated. Still, because his complete energy was engaged in the service of the Lord, he became an immortal sage. Such is the powerful action of devotional service. The living entities are the marginal energy of the Lord, and therefore they are meant for being properly utilized in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. When this is not done, it is called Maya. Therefore, the illusion of Maya is at once dissipated as soon as one's full energy is converted in the service of the Lord, instead of in sense enjoyment. From the personal example of Sri Narada Muni in his previous class, it is clear that the service of the Lord begins with the service of the Lord's bona fide servants. The Lord says that the service of his servants is greater than his personal service. Service of the devotee is more valuable than the service of the Lord. One should therefore choose a bona fide servant of the Lord, constantly engage in his service, and accept such a servant as a spiritual master, and engage himself in the spiritual master's service. Such a spiritual master is the transparent medium by which to visualize the Lord, who is beyond the conception of the material senses. By service of the bona fide spiritual master, the Lord consents to reveal himself in proportion to the service rendered. Utilization of human energy in the service of the Lord is the progressive part of salvation. The whole cosmic creation becomes at once identical with the Lord as soon as service in relation with the Lord is rendered under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. The expert spiritual master knows the art of utilizing everything to glorify the Lord, and therefore, under his guidance, the whole world can turn into the spiritual abode by the divine grace of the Lord's servant. Hare Krishna.
So this is the translation Oh, Muni, in the last millennium, I was born as the son of certain servants engaged in the service of the Brahmanas who were following the principle of Vedanta when they were living together during the 4 months of rainy season. I was engaged in the personal service. Yeah, so in the previous verse, we mentioned that we have economic, philosophy, and so many things. That if we engage in all those things without the supreme presence of God, then everything's zero. So Nadamoni is giving his whole example here. And look, myself, I was the son of a maid servant, but I engaged myself in the service of the three personalities during the Chaturmasya 4 periods. So now, a son of a maid servant is a Shudra, and now, after some time, he became Narada Muni, a very special ambassador of Krishna all over the universe. What happened? Because he got the mercy of the pure devotees. So, Jasadev's duty now is to say something about Krishna and his pure devotees. That was missing in his work. And actually, he said that Krishna said somewhere that those who claim to be my devotees, they are not my devotees. But those who are the devotees of devotees, all my devotees, they are actually my devotees. Yes. So to step this word, must apply those things: science, geography, history, economic, everything, the service of the Lord. Just like a kid may have a very sophisticated machine in his hand. It doesn't know how to utilize it. It can harm him. Same thing also. We have so many wonderful things in this world, but we are misusing them. That's why the Veda is called the manual for the cosmos. The manual. When you have a material or let's say machine, there is a manual how to use it. Okay. If you don't know how to use it, then there's a problem. Everything also, this world is a very big machine, very complex machine. How to operate, how to know which button to press at what time. But people are just using chemistry, economic, science, philosophy for their own sense gratification. That's the problem. So Nadamoni's own example is very, very important here. Yeah. And there's one sentence I think I can find it. This properly indicated. The Lord is done. Okay, and from this verse, from verse 23 to 31, Nadamoni is glorifying the work in Krishna consciousness while remembering Krishna. The point is that the other work of Yasadev, people they were enjoying exercises and practice and forgetting Krishna. But here, Nadamoni is proposing, is proposing to Yasadev that yes, you can still work, you can work in Krishna consciousness and still remember Krishna. That is success in our life. But karma, artha, moksha, and dharma is meant to forget Krishna. Hare Krishna. Next verse. Yes, I saw, I think, Chitra, Isaac, Kupina Prabhu, Manurit. Gopinath Prabhu.
Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, read the verse on
Yeah.
the screen.
Yeah, there is program going on here, so there is a lot of noise. And if I'm speaking, yeah, you may not hear.
All right. Then who's
Yeah.
there? Chitra Putra Prabhu. Chitra Prabhu is not there. Okay, what about Isaac Narse? Isaac Narse. Can you read? He's not there.
Yes.
Isaac Narse.
Yes. Tene apitala chapala Bhakti Dante Greta Credan Nate Nuba Tani Takun Kripan Vid Yapi Tayada San Na Susrama ni Muniyo Lupa Sanini.
Yes. Read the first paragraph of the prophet.
The purpose, although they were translation. No. The purpose.
The translation.
Translation. Although they were impartial by nature, those followers of Vedanta blessed me with their causeless mercy. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled and had no attachment for support. For sports. Even though I was a boy, in addition, I was not naughty, and I did not speak more than required.
Read the first part of the
Okay,
prophet.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I'm here, so.
We're speaking?
Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, okay, sorry for interrupting.
Let's go on.
I heard my name earlier before, so sorry. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, all the Vedas are searching after me. Lord Sri Chaitanya says that in the Vedas, the subject matters are only three, namely to establish the relation of the living entities with the personality of Godhead, perform the relative duties in devotional service, and thus achieve the ultimate goal, back to Godhead. Please, should I continue?
Yes. Continue.
Okay. As such, Vedanta Vadis, or the followers of the Vedanta, indicate the pure devotees of the personality of Godhead. Such Vedanta Vadis, or the Bhakti Vedantas, are impartial in distributing the transcendental knowledge of devotional service. To them, no one is enemy or friend. No one is educated or uneducated. No one is especially favorable, and no one is unfavorable. The Bhakti Vedanta see that the people in general are wasting time in false things. Their business is to get there. Please, can you scroll up? Their business is to get the ignorant mass of people to reestablish the lost relationship with the personality of Godhead. By such endeavor, even the, please can you scroll up? Maharaj, please, I'm waiting for the host to scroll up.
Huh? Is there
I want the host to scroll up.
Is there on the screen, no?
It's on. Sorry, Maharaj.
Yes.
I cannot scroll. I have to scroll. He has to scroll so that before I can read the rest. I'm on the compound. I'm not with my bag, but I'm in the office. I'm on the compound because the network is not good. Yeah.
Salika Babu, can you adjust the screen? It has gone too far. Please go up a little bit. Yeah. You see now?
Yes. Yeah, I see. Yes, I see a bit. I see a part of it, but still, where I've reached, he has not.
Okay. Anyway, the Bhakti Vedanta.
Yes. Sorry, if anyone can continue. Sorry. Yes. Now it's good. Okay. So in the system, okay, but before.
No.
But so the Vedanta. Okay. Let's come down. Let me. Yeah. So in their spiritual life, and there's been by such endeavor. I'm coming. By such endeavor, most forgotten souls is rose up to the sense of spiritual life, and that's been initiated by the Bhakti Vedanta before being initiated by the Bhakti Vedanta. The people in general gradually progress on the path of transcendental realization. So the Vedanta Vaidis initiated the boy even before he became self-controlled and was detached from childish sporting, etc. But before the initiation, the boy became more and more advanced in discipline, which is very essential for one who wishes to make progress in the line. In the system of Varnashrama Dharma, which is the beginning of actual human life, small boys after 5 years of age are sent to become brahmacharis at the Guru's ashrama, where these things are systematically taught to every boy. Be he a king's son or the son of an ordinary citizen. The training was compulsory not only to create good citizens of the state, but also to prepare the boy's future life or spiritual realization. The irresponsible life of sense enjoyment was unknown to the children of the followers of the Varnashrama system. A boy was even injected with spiritual acumen before using before being placed by the father in the womb of the mother. Both the father and the mother were responsible for the boy's success from the material bondage. That is the process of successful family planning. It is to beget children for complete perfection, without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient. No one can become successful in following the instructions of the spiritual master. Without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, this is very
Thank
important.
you, Maharaj.
Yeah. So Nalamuni says in the translation, although they were impartial by nature, those followers of Vedanta blessed me with their consciousness. As far as I was concerned, I was self-controlled, and and I had no attachment for sports, even though I was a boy. In addition, I was not a naughty boy. I was not naughty, and I did not speak more than required. So now the man is giving his own example. Yeah. Why he got attraction to what he gets from the blessing of the advanced soul. Okay, after he served them, he's showing us the importance of serving a pure devotee of Krishna. Yeah, and he's also explaining that as a child, 5 years already, was not interested in sports and naughty activities. So that person is qualified to understand the Vedantas. But the system of Varnashrama that Vyasadeva created was to give sense gratification to people. This is not best. See? So it is mentioned that anybody, any boys, even they have to go to Gurukula at the age of 5 years old. And even before that, before the father places, the baby in the womb of the mother, there has to be Krishna consciousness. See? Yeah, so Nandamuni is explaining that we have to be qualified to get an interest. So the reason why Nandamuni divided the question to Shalika Babu. That's the reason why Vyasadeva divided the Vedas into 4, and also he wrote historical books about Mahabharata and so on. For those people who are not like Nandamuni, they cannot understand. I read somewhere in the one Mahabharata that Shudras are not allowed to send their children at the Gurukula. Why? Because they are Shudras. The father and the mother are Shudras. If they come to Gurukula, well, how can they learn? Doesn't have this mind set to learn things from a Gurukula. It's not possible. You would like to play, you like to do naughty things. It's not ready for that. So this Krishna consciousness is there to train us, to change our consciousness, to become Aryans, to become first-class human beings. Hare Krishna. Next verse.
Uchista lepang anono dite dwija sakrit ma bunje kad apasta kibisa evam pravitasya visuda cetasas kadama evakma ruchi prajayate. Translation. Please kindly scroll up.
No, it's going to.
The translation is the translation is on the screen. Maybe your phone is having a delay.
Yeah. It's on the screen.
Okay, I see. Maybe my network. So somebody can read. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, so the Salika Prabhu read.
Was only by their permission I took the remnants of their food, and by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus, being engaged, I became purified in heart. And at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalist became attractive to me. Purport. Pure devotion is as much infectious in a good sense as infectious diseases. A pure devotee is cleared from all kinds of sins. The personality of Godhead is the purest entity. And unless one is equally pure from the infection of material qualities, one cannot become a pure devotee of the Lord. The Bhakti Vedantas, as above mentioned, were pure devotees, and the boy became infected with their qualities of purity by their association and by eating once the remnants of the foodstuff taken by them. Such remnants may be taken even without permission of the pure devotees. There are sometimes pseudo devotees, and one should be very much cautious about them. There are not many things which hinder one from entering devotional service, but by the association of pure devotees, all these obstacles are removed. The neophyte devotees becomes practically enriched with the transcendental qualities of the pure devotees, which means attraction for the personality of God as name, fame, qualities, pastimes, etc.
Yes, okay, it's okay. Thank you. Yeah. The translation, the Ramon is saying, once only by their permission, I took the remnants of their food. And by so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Just being engaged, I became purified in heart. And at that time, the very nature of the transcendentalists became attractive to me. So, can you show us the one verse Bhagavad Gita 7:28? Talk about sin.
Okay.
Bhagavad Gita 7:28.
Okay, going there.
7:28.
Yes, Mara. Disham tu anta gatapa pam gyana mam punya karmana. Te dwa vini mokta bajanti mam bidal tata.
Yes, translation.
Okay. The translation says that. Oh, sorry. This 27. The translation says that. Let me put this on the screen so that everyone can benefit.
Yes.
Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are freed from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination.
Yeah. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose spiritual activities are completely eradicated, are freed from the qualities of religion, they engage themselves in my service with determination. The example of Nadamon is that since childhood he was very good boy, not engaged in talking anyhow and playing anyhow. So it grew. That's the self-consciousness. So actually, to be able to see, to understand the glories of Krishna and his pure devotees, need to be free from sin. So this verse is telling us that even our previous lives should be free from sin, and this life also we need to be free from sin. And at that time only we can practice devotional service with determination. Sometimes we engage in devotional service, but without determination. You know that there is in the third canto of Bhagavatam, there is a devotional service in ignorance, devotional service in passion, and devotional service in goodness. A different level of devotional service based on our consciousness. So, Nadamoni, because he took the remnants of the pure devotees, got their mercy, like God contaminated. Now, got infected by pure love of God, the Goddess. So, at that point, he could understand the activities of pure devotees. Another verse of the method of devotion is Ata Sri Krishna Namadi. With that, it says that the materially contaminated senses, they cannot see the form, they cannot see and understand the form, the glories, the activities, the entourage of Krishna, the name. But when those senses are actively engaged in devotional service, they become purified, and automatically the form of the Lord his name, his glories, his activities, his entourage become manifested. So now that yesterday, the woman and the friend of Brahmana Bandhus, the Bandhus, and the Shudras, they cannot understand because they're not purified. No. Yes. So this Bhagavatam is very special for special people. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Have a question?
Yes, okay.
So, why should Narada Muni, why should we take special permission before we take the leftover food of the Vedantas?
Yes. Yes. He took permission to show humility. Yeah. He's very humble. And without to get mercy. Without the the permission of the pure devotees, you cannot be an advanced soul yourself. So he took permission from them because he served them, and he was not thinking that okay, because I've served them, it's my right to take the honorary remnants. After serving them, still he is asking permission, just like in Gurukula in the previous age. The Gurukula boys, after serving the Guru, they go and take some woods, the forest, take some vegetable and cook. After they finish cooking, they offer it, they serve the Guru. And after the Guru finishes eating, if the Guru does not call them, okay, this is my disciple, please come and take your prasad, they will not eat. That is education. Yeah? Yeah. So Nazamuni was saying, not thinking, oh yes, because I serve this, pure devotees, it is my right to take the remnants. It took permission. Okay. I think in the purport it is mentioned that even you can take it without permission, but to show humility, Nazamuni asked permission to them. Okay. Next verse.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Thank you very much, Maharaj.
This verse, very interesting verse because sometimes when you read verses like this, it brings one's mind to the present reality of our ISKCON movement today, globally and locally.
Exactly.
And one wonders, we see from practical example, Srila Prabhupada, most of us were not physically there to associate with him directly. But we see the infectious nature of Srila Prabhupada's presence in the West. Our own very spiritual master, His Holiness is Divine Grace Bhakti Swami Krishna. We've seen just by coming in contact or coming around where he is, just even by hearing his lectures. I have so many devotees who they never met him, and they wonder. Just like we are wondering how it is like for Srila Prabhupada disciples when Srila Prabhupada was physically on the planet, what experience it is. Some devotees also have personally called and asked me this kind of question. What was it like to be with his Divine Grace Bhakti Maharaj? You had the opportunity to be with him. So what is it like? And just because they can't imagine, because just by hearing his lecture or reading his books or seeing his picture, they become captivated and they become a pure devotee. They become devotees of Krishna. And some of them take seriously to take initiation. So my question now is that in our present dilemma of not being able to attract many people to Krishna consciousness, yes, the excuse is there. Kali Yuga is advancing. But what? Won't we say that we're not purified enough, or we don't have purified personalities around enough to attract people to come to Krishna consciousness? Your opinion, Maharaj?
Yeah. If you follow the example of Nazamuni, first of all, he served his pure devotees. He served them. And after serving them, he went to ask permission to take their remnants. That is the process. In the verse 434, that Vidi, Paniprasana, Pariprasana Sevaya, Upadeshanti Te Jana Dalina Tapatasana. We have 3 points that are there. To serve them, to inquire from them, and to ask them questions. So if in our relationship with the Guru, we do that, then our relationship is considered to be successful. But most of the time, we don't really follow the instruction of Guru. We follow to some extent, but not fully as we are supposed to do. So that way the connection cannot flow, nicely. Yeah. I'm not saying that we are disobeying the Guru. No, I'm not saying that. But with time, we get ourselves too much entangled in many other activities. So it is yes, that's the verse. Yes. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. Inquire. One and render service. Okay. That is good. That is the activities of a disciple towards his master. So Narada was doing that. Did that perfectly. Yeah. So as you said, I know Gurudev left planet, but I can see that those were very attached to him and still attached to him through his books and his lectures. They are still in the good stand. Because when the Guru departs, those who are not having strong connection with him, they will gradually, die devotionally. I've observed that. Those who are really connected to him and are still connected to him through Bani, they are still in good stand. Reading his books, listening to his lectures and videos. No, they're still connected, strongly connected. Most important in the thing in our relationship with the Guru is the Bani, not the Vapu. Vapu is okay, it's there, but Bani instruction is very much important than Vapu. Okay? Is that okay with you, Babu?
Yes, yes, Maharaj. I think we should move forward so that I don't delay much time.
Yeah. Let's move. Next verse. Verse 26. Which verse now? Which verse are you teaching now?
26.
26, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
26.
Yeah. Quickly read the Sanskrit and translation.
Tranvaam Krishna Kata Prayagyaatam Anugra Inasranavan Mano Araha Tat Stradayame Nupadam Vish Nivataha Priyas Ravasi Anga Mama Baba Adrushi. O Vyasadeva, in that association and by the mercy of those great Vedantis, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of Lord Krishna, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of Godhead increased at every step.
Yeah, that is the point.
Should I read the purport?
No, it's okay. Yeah, because the translation is self-explanatory. Oh, Vaibhava, in that association, and by the mercy of those Vedantis, I could hear them describe the attractive activities of the Lord, and thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the personality of God increased at every step. That is our standard, our system. Shraddha, Sadhu, Sangha. What do we understand by Sadhu Sangha? Sadhu Sangha means to associate with those who are more elevated than us. Sadhu Sangha. And with Sadhu Sangha, what we do, we perform Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya. Then when we perform Bhajana Kriya, then automatically we destroy all the anattas. Anatta Nivriti. Then after Anatta Nivriti, then we become fixed, very fixed, Nishta. Then after that, then we start developing some tests. Actually, if we don't develop tests in Krishna consciousness, we live ISKCON, because by constitution, the soul is Ananta Mayo Vyasa. Ananda. That's it, Ananda. Bliss all the time, blissful. So we must do something that brings us bliss all the time. So if you don't get joy, if you don't get bliss, by practicing Krishna consciousness, by stepping around, by reading books, then the tendency of the mind is to tell us, look, you are not getting pleasure here because this place is not good. Go and find pleasure in another place. That is the trick of the mind. But Nadamuni, and listen to them, listening attentively, my taste for hearing of the presence of Godhead increase at every step. One thing in any activity, if we don't progress, we regress, or we become stagnant, and that's not the best. We must move forward in our Krishna consciousness. So, must take every advantage of Sadhu Sangha, and after that, Bhajana Kriya, and Anatta Nivriti. All our sins, our Anatta would disappear. Then we become fixed. Then after that, we develop some taste. Next verse.
27.
Yes. Tasmin tadalabaruche mahamate yastavasi aksutamati mama yaham metat sarasat swamayaya pashyemahi brahmani kalpitam pare. Translation. Please come down a little bit. Come down a little bit, yes. Yeah, okay. Oh, great sage. As soon as I got a taste of the personality of Godhead, my attention to hear of the Lord was increasing. And as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only in my ignorance that had accepted cross and subtle covering. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. Let's read the first paragraph of the Proverbs. Yeah. Ignorance in material. Yes. Ignorance in material existence is compared to darkness. And in all Vedic literatures, the personality of God is compared to the sun. Wherever there is light, there cannot be darkness. Hearing of the Lord's pastime is itself transcendental association with the Lord, because there is no difference between the Lord and his transcendental pastime. To become associated with the supreme light is to dissipate all ignorance. By ignorance only, the conditioned soul wrongly thinks that both he and the Lord are products of material nature. So you see in these verses, is explaining how we can engage our gross body in the service of the Lord. The Papa gave one analogy in one of his lectures. Said we should make the best use of a bad bargain. You remember this analogy? He said to the Papa, we should make best use of a bad bargain. From Sri Prabhupada. Means we made a mistake to acquire this material body. We were thinking that yes, if I get my independence, I will enjoy fully. Then Krishna said, okay. This is what we want. Give us this material world, give us material body, material senses, and we start enjoying. Then at last, suffering. So we already acquired this material body. It is a vehicle for us at this point now to use, move forward. But the vehicle is full of ignorance. What to do? So we must make the best use of it. This is a machine full of ignorance. The best use of it is to engage it in Krishna consciousness. That's all. Otherwise, we become sophisticated animals.
I think that was in the Prabhupada's purport to text number 33.
Yeah. We must make the best use of the bad bargain. So Nadamuni said in the translation, "O son of all good fish, as soon as I got taste of the presence of God, my intention to hear of the Lord was infringing, and as my taste developed, I could realize that it was only my ignorance that I had accepted gross and subtle covering. For both the Lord and I are under." Yeah. So we must wake up, give that woman to wake up to understand that this body is full of ignorance. And when we wake up, then we can understand what is the activities of the Supreme Lord. Next verse, please. You have to move fast because you need to finish the body verses. Are we there?
Hare Maharaj. Is it Yadunat or Madhuvan Prabhu?
Yadunat.
Okay. Etam sarat pravichkav ire tuhare vishwat tomeno savam yasomalam sankirtyamanam munibher mahartmabher bhakti pravirtat marajas samupaha. Thus, during 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear these great souled sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the coverings of the modes of passion and ignorance vanished.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, the verses 23 to 31, Narada Muni is trying to glorifying walking in Krishna consciousness in this Krishna conscious service while remembering Krishna. Yeah. I'll read the verse again. So the next verse.
Sahasra Yuga.
Yes, Narte. Is that Narte? Coconut or okay? Is that Narte? Can you read? Yeah, read the verse on the screen.
Chapter 5, verse 29. Translation. I was very much surprised those things. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in laughter. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had supplicated the friendship, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Second, there are the necessary qualifications of a prospective candidate who can expect to be elevated to the position of a pure, unadulterated good. Such a candidate must always seek the association of pure good. One should
Okay.
not be
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhu, is okay? Yeah. Yes, the Prophet said, I was very much attached to those sages. I was gentle in behavior, and all my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the senses, and I was strictly following them with body and mind. Yeah, that is. It said that when we take, when we are beginners, we follow the principles. Then you can have Kuntimala with only one round, but we start the guru with our body. And later, when we get initiation, we get 2 rounds. We are allowed to get Kuntimala with 2 rounds. We start the guru with body and the words, our words. Then later on, we become Brahmanas. We have Kuntimala with 3 rounds. Then we must serve the guru with body, our words, and our mind. Yeah. Krishna mentioned many times in the Bhagavad Gita. Man mana mam baba makuto. Yes. We have to offer our mind. So Nadamuni was serving, we're following them with his body and his mind. Most of the time we do something, we serve without the mind. The mind is not part of our activities. That means we're not present when we're doing that thing. But the mind is very important. We focus the mind on what we are doing, and we get the full result. Next verse. Which verse is this? The verse we just read. Is this 29 or 28? Okay, we just read the mention about the qualification of the disciple. The verse we just read. Now verse 30.
the not just 30.
Verse 30. So look at how we read this.
Okay. Jnanam Guyatamam Yatat Saksad Bhagava Yogipam Anvadatam Dani Yata Utayahina Dasala. Translation. As they were leading those back to the Vedas who are very kind, pure-hearted souls, instructed me in that most confidential subject, which is instructed by the Supreme Personality himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. As we're leading, those Bhaktivedantas who are very kind for athlete souls instructed me in that most confidential subject, which is instructed by the personality of God. Yeah, these are this association with pure devotees. They will plant the Bhakti Lata Bija seeds in our heart. In our heart, we have other seeds are there. We have Karma Bij there. We have Jnana Bij is there. We have Yoga Bij is there. And the Guru saw the Bhakti Lata Bij in our heart. And it is our duty now to water that seed, and at the same time removing the weeds that are not us. That way, the Bhakti Lata Bij will grow, slowly, gradually grow, and become big tree and bring nice fruits, very delicious to eat and enjoy. So this year, as they were living, those Bhakti Vedantas who are very kind to pour out the souls instructed me in that most confidential subject, which is instructed by this person of God itself. Verse 31.
Verse 31. Yenavaham Kadavate Vasudevasya Veda Marano Babam Avida Yena Vasankita Sadam. Translation. By that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can return him and personally meet him. Do I continue the purpose?
No, it's okay. See, the verse 30 and 31 explain the confidential knowledge. Confidential. It's confidential because it's not given in the public hall. You see? So in the purpose, it is the translation said, by that confidential knowledge, I could understand clearly the influence of the energy of Lord Sri Krishna, the creator, maintainer, and annihilator of everything. By knowing that, one can listen to him and personally meet him. So do you think they give a book to Nazamani those days? Or they sit in the classroom and discuss him? No. Just give much. This is confidential knowledge. So verse 30 and 31 explain the most confidential knowledge. That is the Guru. And the verse we just read 4:34 said, after serving the pure devotee, after Ramadan serving to him and asking him some question, the pure devotee who has seen Krishna, he can give you Krishna. Because they have seen Krishna, they can also give. 4:34. Next verse 32.
Etatam Sikam Brahman Tapasya Sikam Yad Ikare Bhagavati Karma Brahmani Sikam. Translation. O Brahmana Vyasade, it is decided by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all trouble. And this is to dedicate one's activities to the service of the Supreme Lord, personality of God. So,
Okay, it's okay, Babu, it's okay. See, oh Brahmana, yesterday, it is stated by the learned that the best remedial measure for removing all trouble and miseries is to dedicate one's activity to the service of the Supreme Lord, Supreme. That's something God is Sri Krishna. So this from verse 32 to 36, we will find the process, Karma Yoga process within Bhakti Yoga. Sometimes we have to think that if I engage too much in Bhakti Yoga, I will miss something. That's why most of the time many devotees they engage in Karma Mishra Bhakti. Because we are afraid that if you engage fully 100% in Bhakti, we miss our job, or miss some money, or miss some contracts. We are afraid. You cannot dive deep into Bhakti and into the ocean of Bhakti. Understand? So we have Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. You remember the definition of Bhakti Shastri, the definition of pure devotion service. Anya Bila Sitya Sunyam, Jana Karmadi Anavritam. Jana Karmadi Anavritam. There is no karma, there is no jana. Tatutam. Anu Kulina Krishna Anu. And it is very favorably performed. Please Krishna. Yeah. So there is Karma Yoga within Bhakti Yoga. So we should be afraid that we are missing something. This is the way we cannot become, we will not really develop some taste because we are still stuck at that level. We are afraid that I'm going to lose. If I become renounced, if I get myself too much, I will lose something. That is the fear. So we have to learn from these verses, 32 to 36, that there is a Karma Yoga process within Bhakti Yoga. Let's go to the next verse.
verse 33. Am I your
Can I read?
Let's go on.
Amayo yasa budanam jaya puyuna subrata kadebahi amayam satyam napunati keki satyam. Translation. O good soul, O good soul, does not a thing applied from a pure database cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing?
Yes, good. This verse is very interesting. Oh, good soul, does not that a thing applied therapeutically cure a disease which was caused by that very same thing. Yeah. So Baba gives the example of that we are that sickness, jaundice. So when you have jaundice, you don't have indicate what is sweet, sugar. But the same thing that can cure us from jaundice is something sweet. Same thing also. We don't have any taste. We are the holy name. But the only thing that can cure us is the holy name. So at the beginning, the Maha Mantra, the holy name is very bitter on our tongue. But by keeping chanting in the association of devotees, pure devotees, then gradually the case comes. Next verse, please. You have to move fast because we have only a few minutes remaining.
Nam Kriya Yoga Arjun Samsiti Hojada Saivatma Vinasaya Kautam Kautika Kare. Translation. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those very activities, with all its perpetual bondage, become the destroyer of the spirit of death.
Yes. Thus, when all a man's activities are dedicated to the service of the Lord, those activities which cause his perpetual bondage become the destroyer of the tree of work. His action is modern action are but when those same actions are applied to Krishna, it becomes Bhakti Yoga, become Buddhi Yoga, Buddhi Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. All right. Next verse. Kalika Prabhu, can read. Next verse. Kalika Prabhu.
Okay, Prabhu. Gopinath Prabhu. Prabhu Gopinath, are you hearing?
I'm hearing.
Prabhu Gopinath.
I'm hearing.
Yes, Maharaj said somebody else you read.
All right. Thank you.
Maharaj, did you say she read?
Yes, sir. Kalika Prabhu.
Okay. Yat atrakriyate karma bhagavat parito sanam Jnanam yatat adinam I bhakti yoga samam vitam. Whatever work is done here in this life for the satisfaction of the mission of the Lord is called bhakti yoga or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a committant factor.
Yeah. Whatever work is done in this life for the satisfaction of mission of the Lord, Bhakti Yoga or transcendental loving service to the Lord. And what is called knowledge becomes a concomitant factor. Yeah, so whatever we are doing and for the pleasure of Krishna, I become Bhakti Yoga. Next verse. Malika, come read it again.
Okay. Kurvana yatraka amami bhagavak shiksa yak sakrit grinanti gunan amani Krishnas yanus marantisha. While performing duties according to the order of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one constantly remembers him, his names, and his qualities.
Yeah, that is a characteristic of Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is different from other yogas because when we are performing Bhakti Yoga, we automatically remember Krishna's name, his qualities. Yes. That is the Karma Yoga process found in Bhakti Yoga. The point is you must remember Krishna. One verse, actually, we have many rules in our Vedic scriptures. But the most important is always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Next verse.
I should read it.
Yeah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Tubhyam Vasudevaya Dirmahi Pradyumna Yadni Rudaya Nama Sankachana Yacha. Let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his plenary expansions, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Chankashan.
Yeah. So after association with the pure devotees, the Muni have developed some taste and he say, okay, let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva, along with his plenary expression, Vaibhava, Niruddha, and Sankarsana. Next verse, please. Yeah.
Iti murti abidane naha mantra murtim amurtikam yajate yajna purushaham samyak darshana pumam. Thus is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form.
Yes. So, thus, he is actually here who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form. Yes, who is actually here who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that? Well, as a question. What is the meaning of?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, please.
I think who worship by chanting the holy name of the Lord, maybe the Maha Mantra.
Yeah. So you can read the purpose with that full explanation there. Next verse.
I should still read.
Yes.
Imam Swami Gamam Brahman Avityamat Anustitam Hadan Me Gyanam Aiswarya Swasmi Bhavam Chake Shava. O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord, as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulences, and then with ease, intimate loving service.
Yeah. Oh Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential part of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulence, and then with his intimate loving service. Yeah, first of all, we need to get the knowledge, confidential knowledge. And confidential knowledge will lead us to understand the opulence of Krishna. And when we understand the opulence of Krishna, then we come to the loving service. Just like in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has to manifest his Rupa. For Arjuna to understand that Krishna is everywhere. And we have a full verse, chapter, we call. Plus, before that, there is the opulence of the absolute. How Krishna is opulent. And still, Arjuna was not believing that Krishna could be that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna has to manifest his universal form. Then after that, then he spoke about the devotion service, chapter. So here, first of all, we must get the knowledge. The knowledge will let us understand the absolute, the opulence of Krishna. And when we understand the opulence of Krishna, then we surrender to him. When we surrender means we serve him. Okay? So please take time to read the purpose. Last verse of today.
Twamapi adabrasruta vishrutam vibu samapyate yena vidam bubu sitam priyakyai dukkai muhu aditatmanam sanklesha narevanam usanti nanyata. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas, for that will satisfy the ankerings of great learned men, and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries.
Yeah, let's go to the purpose, the meaning, beginning the four classes of men. No,
The four classes of
yeah. Go read.
the four classes of good men acknowledge the authority of the Almighty God, and therefore such good men, 1, when they are in difficulty, 2, when they are in the need of money, 3, when they are advanced in knowledge, and 4, when they are inquisitive to know more and more about God, intuitively take shelter of the Lord. As such, Narada advises Vyasadeva to broadcast the transcendental knowledge of God in terms of the vast Vedic knowledge, which he had already attained. Hare Krishna.
Go again.
I should go for that.
Yes, continue.
As far as the bad men are concerned, they are also 4 in numbers. 1, those who are simply addicted to the mode of progressive fruitive work, and thus are subjected to the accompanying miseries. 2, those who are simply addicted to vicious work for sense satisfaction and so suffer the consequences. 3, those who are materially very much advanced in knowledge, but who suffer because they do not have the sense to acknowledge the authority of the Almighty Lord. And 4, the class of men who are known as atheists and who therefore purposely hate the very name of God, although they are always in difficulties.
Yes, finish it.
Sri Narada Muni advised Vyasadeva to describe the glories of the Lord just to do good to all 8 classes of men, both good and bad. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or sect. It is for the insincere soul who actually wants its own welfare and peace of mind. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the first canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Narada's Instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva.
So, and please go back to the translation. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your past knowledge. Of the Vedas. For that will study, yes. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. For that will satisfy the anchoring of great learned men, and at the same time mitigate the miseries of masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. So see, the activity of the Lord is the solution. Sometimes we have, when Gurudev was on the planet, when he comes to visit us, there is one topic at the conference. He say, solving material problem with spiritual solution. Yeah, people are suffering materially, and they want to use material solution from the suffering. It's not possible. Must apply spiritual solution. So we have 4 types of people suffering. One who need money, those who are like that. There are 4, and also we have 4 types of bad people. But the 8th type of person, Bhagavatam is good for them. So Srimad Bhagavatam is not for, just like we have Upadharmas. like a religion for this stage only. No, that is Bhagavatam is for everyone. It's above all caste, it's above all system of education. Everybody must read Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody. So today we have finished for today. Thank you very much for your attention. So for next week we will start chapter.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes, Prabhu.
How do we relate this text to general mood in West Africa, West African preaching, where sometimes some of us think that because people are coming from lower consciousness, so we should give them paraphernalia.
No. This is pure speculation. No? See, it's not true. That was the best, huh? By giving them, what do you call it? Patmapa? And Juju, okay? No, we are not Juju practice people. You see, the thing that we don't really, you see, if you don't have something, you cannot give it to somebody. If you don't have Bhakti, you cannot give Bhakti to others. That's the thing. And the more material thing you give to people, the more materially inclined they will become. Yeah. So we come with ourselves and with them, to give them what they need. We should not give them what they want. We should give them what they need. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So thank you very much. Next week we start the chapter 6 and the conversation between Narada and Vyasadeva. Now, after Narada Muni has diagnostic the problem of Vyasadeva, then there is a discussion. Nice stuff. Go deeper. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we request all the devotees to please kindly unmute now and let us loudly chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra to appreciate Maharaj for giving us this wonderful time. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Vanchakarpata Rubhyascha Kripa Sindhyascha Patitanam Pavanebhyo His Holiness Bhakti Carudesna Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
See you next week.
Doña Coromore.